Welcome everybody to Beyond the Door podcast. Today we're here with Bo Putra, the sales executive for Entrust. Welcome, Bo.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
So,
you having me.
absolutely. So, a couple of topics I like to go over that are real relevant nowadays are the credentialing, physical credentialing, production of physical credentials, and then mobile credentials as well. So, if you don't mind, kind of go over what kind of role you take in trust and what was your role look like in trust?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Happy to
Absolutely.
be here. My role is really to serve the partner base. We have multitude of products, solutions that we offer when it comes to ID printers, to softwares, to different ways to authenticate yourselves, basically say you are who you say you are. And with that, you support the channel partners and make sure that they have what they need. So,
Okay.
um, again, there to help support them with whatever needs that they have.
Absolutely. So you started as pretty much a manufacturer of ID card printers, right?
We did, yeah. So back in 1969, we were founded, and I think throughout the years, Smith's been along that journey for a long time. I believe since the 70s. So through the different embossing and ways that folks utilize the financial cards is kind of the inception of Entrust and how we started. And then it kind of brings you into today's world where it's a full encompassing, security solution company that is trying to be a part of the customer's entire ecosystem, right? So anywhere from the badges all the way to, how folks get access to the systems within themselves.
Absolutely. And you referred back to a little bit of history. So like we are speaking earlier, my grandfather started this company. This is a generation company. My grandfather started this company in 1971, working on addressograph machines.
Mhm.
Addressograph was he decided to go make his own company or build his own company. Addressograph was acquired by Farrington, and then later on, Farrington was acquired by DataCard, which is now in Trust. So yeah, we've been a partner for 25 plus years from the DataCard and Trust side of the world, but it seems like we've been working with y'all forever since the company started, right?
Right on.
S-
Yeah, and that's what, kinda differentiates us, I think, from a lot of the other manufacturers is being around for so long, we're able to, have these relationships with folks that, like you mentioned, have extended for 30 plus years. And, with that comes a lot of knowledge and history with knowing where we were and where we're at now, which, provides a huge benefit to our end customers. So, the fact that you're third generation like yourself, it makes us look good, honestly, because you're not teaching someone the new wheel, right? It's
Correct.
you're able to just continue on down the path that you all find to be a benefit, and however Entrust can support SAMS is what we want to do. So, that's kind of our goal and where we see it. But I love the history. It's always nice talking to someone who understands, where we were and where we are now.
Oh, absolutely. And where we kind of are now is the ID card producing ID cards, right? So you're one of the top in the world in manufacturing ID card printers.
Yeah, yeah. So we're a global company, spread here in North America is where I support, but EMEA, APAC, Latin America, lots of different avenues from the ID printers themselves. Now, being in North America and focusing on just Canada and the US, you see things evolving all the time, right? From um, physical badges to digital badges to a plethora of a fleet of printers to, onesie twosies. So depending on kind of what you are from an organization, yeah, we're hoping that we can help supply you with whatever it may be to give you all access to, badges and IDs.
Yeah, absolutely. So we a little bit of history as well from our standpoint is that we used to have your big equipment too. So you're just not a manufacturer of a desktop ID card printers like the ones behind us.
Yep.
You're a manufacturer of large equipment, the MX
Mhm.
series printers,
Yep.
which are that can take a card, a blank card, print the card, put any kind of variable data on the card, put it, attach it to or affix it to a piece of paper, then stuff it in an envelope and stamp it and ready to go out the door. That
That's
whole piece of
right.
paper, right?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, what you see behind us is a very small part of who Entrust is as an entire company, but, as you mentioned, yeah, we have the giant machines at our facility in Minnesota, that will put it all the way, like you said, in an envelope and send it out the door. If there's a specific sticky thing on the back of the card, I know that is related to Entrust. You don't quiz me on it, but, I do know that there's individuals that do know the difference between where it came from and others. So, maybe you need to be with Entrust for 20 years. I'm only at year 5, so maybe
Yeah,
that's what it is. But, yeah, anywhere from large printing, to small desktop printers to, like I mentioned, PKI, SSL. The digital world is highly advancing. We're hearing, big words in cybersecurity and the advancements within that, and obviously AI and things like that. So
of course.
as we continue to invest in our company, it's not just desktop printers, it's much more than that. We want to again be a part of the entire customer's ecosystem as much as we can. And however we can help secure identities is where we want to be, whether that's authentication or printing a badge.
Absolutely. So even the ID card printers to the software as well, you manufactured your own software as well now, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have an on-premise and a cloud. So the buzzword of cloud that we're hearing all day long. And then with that coming like the digital IDs, right? So we're seeing more and more folks today with the remote work and learning that they're looking for a different way to authenticate themselves or say who they are, and not so much with the physical badge, but a digital badge. So we do offer both. Grand scope. It just kind of depends on what you are as an organization, what you're looking to do, connecting databases, things like that.
So what kind of changes have you seen over the past 4 or 5 years in actually printing credentials versus people working from home now, remote work and everything now? So, is there a big difference from where the business used to be 4 years ago to now?
Yeah, I would say so. I think as many people know, COVID just really kind of ramped everything. Kind of accelerated it, if you will, for where we are today compared to I think where we would have been. And a lot of that has to do with the remoteness of schools and
Of course.
companies shutting down and realizing too a year down the road that hey, we can still function, we can still maintain our business. So they realize that the lights don't shut off just because people aren't walking in the door. So just being able to adjust to that, obviously what we've seen in the market is, maybe less folks printing, less folks losing their badge because they're not utilizing it
Of
as
course.
often, right? Which may cause, you know, less consumable drive, right, for our partner basis. So how do we continue to service those customers, even if they're not going into the office and be a valuable asset to them and their businesses outside of just desktop printers. And, through that we can do with digital IDs,
Yep.
things like that, right? You never forget your phone when you go to work, but you
No.
forget your lanyard all the time, right? It's how the world works. It's nothing's changed, but really I would say just COVID expedited everything. It's just kind of moved it up. Um, Probably in a good way, right? Because from a technology scope with AI and different things and Chat GPT that everyone's talking about
Yes.
nowadays, we're probably there as a technology. We just the consumers are still new to it though. They're still picking and choosing. They're trying to
Of course.
decide, is this right for us? Is this not right? Do we want to go cloud? It's those buzzwords. So the communication is happening now, and that's obviously driving it. But absolutely, it's it's moving way quicker than we ever thought, and a lot of that has to do with the remoteness. Actually, a study came out. I remember reading on LinkedIn that had everything to do with COVID pushed e-learning
Oh,
to
absolutely.
provide a way for folks to still stay engaged within their organization, whether it's HR or compliance and things like that, which has now, since folks have realized we can adapt this training policies, they want to move their other businesses to digital aspects. So that's why we're seeing a bigger push into digital IDs and things like that. They're saying, hey, our archaic system that, we printed off all these, we have all these, different filing cabinets, we can get away from this,
Yes.
we are okay to get away from Lotus Notes and things
Yeah.
like that, so that, I think that's really exciting for consumers to know that before it didn't seem obtainable, and now it's becoming more and more obtainable because as you need to be able to fit more than one size,
Yes.
and how you can do that. Not everyone has an Entrust printer and Entrust software. how can we take Entrust software and utilize to a third party printer or vice versa? So that's what we need to fit in as this company, because again, everyone's at different stages within their
Of
growth
course,
and security journey.
of
So
course. So, going to the mobile credential side of the world, so when in your software, when we hit print, it can print a physical credential, right?
yeah.
And it can also provide a mobile credential.
Yes. So through our cloud badging solution, which we call Instant ID as a service, which you all support and sell for us, which is fantastic. Essentially provides a digital verification. So if you want to have dual, where you print physical and provide digital, you can do that. If you want one or the other, you can. We currently leverage the Apple and Google wallets
Okay,
within an Android and iOS um, software of the phone. So with that comes a few restrictions for licensing and things that you have to
sure.
abide by. But yeah, again, we're seeing a huge uptick on that kind of cloud software moving into digital, but that's not going anywhere. We'll see a huge pickup here in FY25 as folks continue to move into that digital aspect.
Yeah, so we have a roughly 6,700 customers, roughly, and I have conversation with our customers or end users asking about mobile
Yeah,
credentials, right? So from the remote side of the world, where we've been, so many people been remote here lately for the last years now, they're wanting to use that mobile credential for multiple applications, right?
yeah,
Signing on computers, all kind of different things.
yeah, yeah,
So having a partner like you is with Entrust is amazing
yeah.
to have that.
I again, my role, how I support you all is through our products and solutions. Sure, desktop might be where we started,
Mhm.
but it's not, the only place we can go. Again, with all the SSL authentication, and different digital signature applications that we provide, it's a great way for us to just provide our customers, who are your
Of
customers,
course.
right, with whatever they are looking to do.
Absolutely. So when producing a mobile credential, what does that entail? Far as when you go to into your software and print ID card, how easy is it to produce a mobile credential?
It's very easy. So we leverage again, like I said, the Apple and Google Wallet. So very similar to a boarding pass,
Okay.
that you'd get through, United or Delta, but through the software you can actually connect the workflow, and you can get into details. We have lots of kind of fun tutorial videos on our website, but great way for it to kind of utilize is the connection between what it is you're trying to put on it. So whether that's a QR code, a name, dates, things like that, and it essentially will be sent via email
Okay.
and go into like a Safari opener, and then you can save it into your wallet.
Oh wow.
So you can kind of pick and choose, and then within the the audit log of the software, you can actually see when someone claims or reclaims it. You can revoke it if you had a malicious act, and you
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that someone doesn't have access to that. Um, you know, a few of the I guess inhibitors that we found is screenshots still going to run into that and things like that. So how do we figure out a way to provide our customers a digital solution that they know is again verifiable and someone's
Secure.
not abusing it. Yes,
Yeah.
secure.
Okay.
Right.
So what else do you other than mobile credentials and printing hard cards,
Yeah.
physical credentials, what else is there as for Entrust?
Yeah, so, public key, infrastructure, so PKI is a one that, we've kind of been a part of since the early 2000s, through different acquisitions and development within internal, SSL, so, um, single sign-on, things like that. So, again, any way to authenticate yourselves as an organization to make sure that the folks who are accessing the identities or the solutions themselves are who they say they are. There's no malicious intent. There's no malware hacks, nothing like that. That's really the goal is us as a company is to make sure that any entity that someone is trying to obtain is for themselves and
Of
not for any
course.
others.
Of course. Really. So the software that Entrust provides is Instant ID. Is that still the name of the software?
Yeah, thanks for breaking that up. We have our acronyms can be challenging too with Entrust. So we have Instant ID, which is our on-premise, and then we have Instant ID as a service, which is our cloud. And through Instant ID as a service, we have our digital credentialing, which can provide that to your phone. So, um, again, to elaborate kind of too, is not so much just that. Through that, you can do service bureau, which you all have experienced too
Yep.
in the past, where you can print on behalf of your customers. Just say like a small firehouse, right? And it may not make a ton of sense for them to have their own printer, depending on how many they're doing per year. So through that, they can take advanced links, go on your website, be able to print effectively, and then have you all ship it out. Through that too, we have fleet management as a service, which get into those large casinos and
Yep.
they all want to be able to see that ecosystem under one umbrella. So through the as a service application of Instant ID, you can provide lots of different cloud leverages that will help remotely service a lot of those customers so they don't have to be on that one traditional workstation like, are so common,
Absolutely.
back in the day. So
Yeah, so that's what I love about your software, right? Because if you can we can provide ID card printers, the actual physical ID card printer, the software and everything to the higher education and whatnot. But when we have volunteer fire departments and fire departments, they also need print credentials,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So that's what we can offer them web-based software, and like you're saying, we can print they can hit print and it prints right here in my office whenever they hit print.
Exactly.
And then
Yes.
we just put it in an envelope and ship it. And
That's
that's what
right.
I love about the product.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it's come a long way, right? It was very just kind of, um, kind of grade school badging at the beginning, and now we're into smart cards and mag stripe and things like that through a few different years of advancements. So yeah, you're really able to get everything you can out of the on premise through cloud now. Which was kind of an inhibiting factor in the past. But now being able to utilize a solution fully is wonderful, whether it's you're printing yourself or you're getting printed on someone's behalf through a bureau.
Absolutely. So we print probably 3 to 400 cards a month for fire departments, just small,
Yeah.
government entities, and most of those go through your software, which
Yeah.
is absolutely amazing, right?
Yeah.
So they also always ask me the security levels of that printer
Yeah.
and what does that printer store the information that's printed and stuff like that. So is there can you kinda go over that for me?
Yeah, I can. So it does not store any information, which is can be big for lots of different entities. If someone wanted to unplug it, throw it in the back of their truck, and try to,
Yeah,
bring it back to take something off of it. But yeah, no, nothing stored. It has secure boot to try to protect against malware. So anything that's you turn it on, it'll go through a security protocol to make sure that no one's trying to hack into it or try to get something off of it when they're going to kind of run into a dead end anyways. But TLS, again, I'm not technical by any means, but TLS 1.2, I believe, is the security protocol of what everything is sitting on for the hardware. And then the software kind of goes hand in hand with it. But yeah, security is for sure what we're focusing on the most.
yep,
As you can see, came a long way from just a desktop printer. So being able to leverage that security and promote it into our product is something that we take very seriously.
absolutely. So what is the on-premise product look like?
It's very similar to the cloud product, look and feel is the same. Really the differentiators is, some organizations just can't put things on the cloud, right? They want to be able to own that data, be able to keep it on their server, be responsible behind firewalls and things like that. So that's why we're always going to see, I think, on premise exist and there be a market for it. But yeah, buzzword is cloud right now, digital and things like that. So being able to provide both is important. But yeah, you get into these municipals and some of those government agencies, they're going to always want to make sure that you're following, the RPQ or whatever they're asking for
Absolutely,
and things like that. So um, that's just, the way it's going to work. And, we're going to make sure that we fit both realms.
okay, absolutely. Is that good, Bo? I mean, Billy?
Cool.
I was fumbling all over the place with that.
And so like you can see if they're online, offline, out of ribbon. So like you can like sign in.
Oh, R what y'all used to call it? What was RM or
So, yeah, RMM or something like that,
RMM?
and it
Is
was
that
on Instant ID, just on premise or
yes.
ID works, but now we have it in on for cloud.
Okay.
So and it's
What's
again,
crazy is I was probably one of the first integrators into that, right? I still have it sitting on cloud that it shouldn't be sitting on still today. And, me w
Yeah.
so, Bo, in your experience, since you have such a large geographic footprint that you cover, are you seeing more of the transactions? Are you seeing your customer being more transactional, or is it still relationship building?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it probably depends on who you ask. But we've seen kind of we've seen both,
Okay.
right? I think there's room for both. I think there's obviously opportunity for both. But as we move on, with digital and folks kind of, whether they want a printer, they don't want a printer. Um, Kind of similar to what I said earlier is you gotta be able to fit kind of whatever that customer is looking to do. And the biggest reason why I say that is with turnover, this sometimes being considered a novelty item, when it
Mhm.
comes to just maybe a badge printer. Um, Folks may be more concerned on just filling an obligation or an RPQ and then moving on. Obviously through the years, with SAMs and things, I know you all have, great customers that you've supported for a long, long period of
Absolutely.
time. Yeah, but with different contracts and obligations that they have to fulfill, sometimes they need to go away from the relationships and kind of get more of kind of that business.
Yep.
So, I know I didn't truly answer the question, but I think there's room for both. Truly, I guess what have you seen within some of the customers that you support?
So yeah, the transactional, we pretty much focus on building relationships. So we do take those transactional customers that just need more of a digital ID or digital credential, but we try to turn them into or work with them for a long relationship because we've been here since 1971. That's how that's how we build business, is be here for our customer base, whether it's selling them a new product, if it's servicing their current product, or just being out there just to bounce ideas off of around security for their facility, around their credentials and stuff like that. Just a sounding board if they ever need to talk about it.
I think you hit on actually a huge point there with the service aspect and support. I think a lot of our customers, especially nowadays, with how easy it is to shop online and do things like that, um, you're at a huge disadvantage when it comes to making sure you have exactly what you need as an organization and it fits your role and what you're trying to do with that. And when you're shopping online and maybe looking for the best deal, right? You can find yourself, banging your head against the wall a
Oh,
little bit,
absolutely.
wishing that you may have, went a different direction. So, through the channels and through the partner resellers that we have, that's the beauty of it, right? Being able to leverage the aspect that they're local, they'll provide you with that service and support, to make sure that you're set up correctly. That's a huge goal of ours, and, we know that if you have a bad experience, right, it's not gonna be so much maybe the partner, it's gonna be whose name's on it, and that falls back on the manufacturer a lot of the time. So, maybe making sure the customer experience is a good one is important, and that could be very quick transaction and saying, "Hey, you gave me what you need. See you later." Or it could be, "Hey, let's talk on a weekly basis. I have this coming up or this coming up." So, we've seen it all, but it really comes down to that support and that service that you mentioned. Being able to hone in on that and provide our customers exactly what they want, which are your customers, and I don't want to get that confused, is the most important.
Absolutely. So service is a very important role to our company, right? Because our motto is service is our specialty. And that's what our foundation of this company, how it started, was servicing equipment. It
Mhm.
wasn't selling new equipment. It
Yeah,
wasn't any of that. It was servicing the current equipment that was out there that customers needed to be fixed.
right,
And we still take that very, very seriously. And that's what we still strive to do, is make sure we provide the best customer service and service that equipment the best of our ability.
right on. Yeah, good.